Right now. Better knock it out to the there. Yeah, oh my God. Going in there.
Still folks joining. We appreciate the participation today. Looks like we have a good crowd.
Like 60.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. We appreciate everyone joining the pre-bid meeting this morning. My name is Stephanie Cranish. I am from the airport. I will be the project manager for Stormline S. I'd like to introduce the engineering staff as well as our CMAR, who is the contractor for ASIP program. The engineers will be Kimley Horn. We have David Sparks as the program manager, and then Matt Stevens will be the project manager for this project. And in terms of the CMAR, it'll be Austin Bridge and Road. We have Matt Tamroski as a program manager, and then Clark Bernol as a project manager. David, Matt Stevens, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, Matt Stevens with Kimley Horn, one of the project engineers for this. Appreciate everyone jumping on and look forward to going through the project.
Yes, David Sparks with Kimley Horn, one of the senior project managers.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. This is Matt Tamroski, Austin Bridge and Road. I'm the senior PM for the ASIP program here, and looking forward to talking Stormline S with everybody. You've probably, I think everybody on the call has either talked to one of us at ABR or through Snap Management. So you got Mike Ashmore, Daryl Pierce, or Paul Gibson that have also been reaching out to folks during our outreach. So looks like we've been able to reach quite a bit of folks. So some of the high level information, questions deadline, August 19th. So that's Wednesday at 5:00 p.m. We prefer those to be through Building Connected. There's a little messages tab that we want them to come through. If you're having any issues with that, you can also email the project email address. It'll be provided here at the end of this presentation. September 3rd at 2 p.m. is when proposals are due. It's a sealed bid in Building Connected. So there will be a hard cutoff not allowing you to upload after 2 p.m. Central. So please make sure you plan ahead and make sure you've got good internet access as you're trying to upload your proposals. So our anticipated project timeline, that first week in September ahead of Labor Day, we'll be getting the proposals and really going through analyzing the proposals in September into October. And we're anticipating notice of award by the end of the month in October. By November of this year, we'll be issuing the administrative NTP. That gets everybody rolling on submittals and procurement and other enabling tasks, with the anticipated construction NTP in April of next year. Right now, we've got substantial completion set for May of 2028 and final completion a month later in June. There's a QR code on the screen, but there's also a link in the chat we need everybody to please sign into this meeting for future communications and record keeping. We'll have another reminder here in a little bit. So what we're going to discuss here is we'll go over the project. We're going to be going over the packages, how this is broken out. We'll talk to the evaluation criteria and then open it up at the end for questions and answers. So hopefully everybody's at least been able to do their preliminary review of the plans. But Stormline S is a continuation of a trunk line coming off of the new terminal. So we will be picking it up at structure S01 and taking it all the way across the airfield to outfall at Salado Creek. There are 4 new laterals proposed that their alignment is for the future configuration of the airfield. So all 4 of those laterals are part of package 1 in this project. Going through the design and constructability, we wanted to offer 2 options for one stretch there. They're outlined in blue and red, option A and option B, and you'll see that terminology throughout the bid documents and the plans. So option A is really just continuing on the trenchless alignment, straight line out to that bend, where option B is an open cut alternative that we had to back away from that apron where the Cessna Textron operations are. So in the proposal response form, you'll see option A and option B separated. All right, so going on to the scheduling. ABR has produced schedules for both of the options, and those are available in the bid documents. But generally speaking, it is working downstream to upstream. So the green phase 1 is that trenchless run underneath Sky Place Boulevard with the head wall structure out at Salado Creek. And just moving upstream, you'll be going through phase 2 with the laterals along taxiway Romeo, getting underneath runway 13 left, and then getting into the infields between the runways. And from there, phase 3 carries you out to the tie-in to the existing structure. So that star that's on the screen is phase 3C. And right now, that phase will require a shutdown of runway 13 right. And there's a 20 calendar day limit to that work. And that is to open up, retrieve the tunneling equipment, and then tie in with a collar to the new structure and backfill. That's what that 20 days represents. None of the other work at this time is anticipated to affect any airfield operations. So that being said, as you're going through this project and working out your schedule, work can happen concurrently between phases 1, 2, and 3, as long as that work does not impact airfield operations. And there's haul routes provided in the plans for how each work area is being accessed. And currently, phase 3C for that tie-in and runway closure is planned for December of 2027. Really that time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, as that's the lowest air traffic projected for the year. All right, going into package 1, this is for the open cut drainage structures and logistics. The main components of this package it's essentially everything except for the trenchless installations. So this is all of your open cut RCP. This is installation of all structures on the project. And then the primary access logistics. So this is constructing the haul road, providing flaggers, performing sweeping along the haul road, setting any required closures, etc. Each contractor is going to be responsible for obtaining their own badges and providing their own escorts, which is why this package is limited to just flagging and sweeping. And then at the end of the job, grading and revegetation of the project site. Package 2 is the trenchless. This is turnkey for all components, with excavating the tunnel, installing the carrier pipe, grouting, shafts, all of that. And I just wanted to call attention to a few of the options that the contractor is given in the plans. You can propose liner plate, steel casing, however your firm wants to perform that work, as well as the carrier pipe material of FRP or RCP. And there's some tunnel diameter limitations. So based on the carrier pipe that you choose and the casing that you choose, that's going to affect what the true diameter of that tunnel is. And with package 2, we are requiring a work approach be submitted in your proposal. So with whatever options that you choose for liner plate or FRP, please identify those and outline them in your work approach for package 2. On the shafts and any temporary shoring, this is also at the discretion of the contractor, but it must be fully engineered and approved by the EOR. And we also request that you provide the shaft type in your work approach. You don't have to provide all the engineering documentation for it up front, but we would like to know the approach that your firm is taking. Package 3 is quality control for the project. Contractor is going to be responsible for providing a full-time QC inspector. We are requiring that they have prior airfield experience in a role similar to this. And they're going to be going around the job and inspecting work, ensuring compliance with the plans and specs for both trenchless, open cut structures, all of it, as well as coordinating the materials testing, collecting proctors, testing densities on backfill for the open cut, doing all the concrete testing for the P610, including the field testing for your slump and temperature, getting cylinders, secure facilities, and then as well as the grout and CLSM testing for the specs. And understanding that there is a lot of interface between package 1 and package 2, there were some clarifications put into the proposal documents that we want everybody to use as their assumptions as they formulate their proposals. So one note is we want everybody to assume that as soon as the trenchless shaft is no longer necessary, that contractor will be backfilling it, making it safe, backfilling it, as long as the structure contractor isn't very far behind. So that pretty much tells the package 1 contractor that when they get into an area of a structure, they're going to be excavating it and they're going to be shoring it for that structure work, knowing that the tunnel is in place below. Kind of spoke to this a little earlier, where each contractor is going to be responsible for their own badges and escorts, but package 1 will be setting the flaggers and gate guard for access onto the airfield. The spoil haul, we're expecting package 2 and package 1 contractors to each haul their spoil material that's not going to be reused on site to the designated stockpile areas independently. But the package one contractor will be managing those stockpiles, pushing up the dirt as needed. Clark, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, okay. So this is just a rundown of Building Connected, where the bid documents are stored. So in the folder system, under plans and specs, it'll include all our plan sheets and specs for the job. The project information folder is going to give you the bid information, as well as both schedules are stored in this folder. The subcontractor exhibits folder will give you all the documentation, including our ABR's contract language and special conditions, inclusions, exclusions, and insurance requirements. The forms to submit folder will give you the proposal response form that needs to be completed and attached with your proposal, and the bidder list collection form, which is also included in the proposal. Then the last folder there is the other documents. That's going to be the CSA, vendor registration form, soil management plan, and wage requirements required to be filled out. And in this bid document area and Building Connected, new folders will be added under this as we write the addendums after the questions come in through this pre-bid and any other addendums needed. Here's the submission checklist. And page 10 of the instructions to the bidders document, you'll have this list, but we'll just hit them real quick so everybody is aware. You have to have the completed proposal form, response form, the safety metric backup, including forms 300A and your 300 log for the past 5 years. We're requiring project information on 3 relevant airfield projects and then 3 relevant non-airfield projects to the work. Like Matt had said, only for package 2, we need the work approach on the trenchless operations. And then we're requiring resumes for project manager, superintendent for package 1 and 2, or the quality control inspector for package 3. And then the completed bidders list collection form, which can be found of what we stated in the folder system in Building Connected.
Yeah, and there may be some DBE language on that provided bidders list form, but we do need everybody to submit that form filled out with all subcontractor bids that you've received. It may only be a couple, it may be none, but whoever bids to you for one of these packages, please include them and submit that with your proposal.
All right. Finally, the evaluation criteria when all the packages are brought in. So all bid packages will be lump sum bid. Everyone has the option to bid both packages 1 and 2. All the packages will be evaluated as a best value, which considers price, qualifications, safety, and any value engineering recommendations. So you can tell that the requirements on the previous slide will help us break out that information on qualifications, safety, and go through the packages. Once the packages are received and viewed, interviews will be set up with the respondents and scheduled after those initial review and proposals of the proposals are looked at.
Okay, so kind of,
oh, go for it, Matt.
yeah, I was just saying, kind of back where we started. This Wednesday, end of day, is when we're setting the deadline for questions, preferably in Building Connected, but you can use that email if you're having any difficulties. We're targeting the addendum, at least the first addendum, possibly the second addendum by August 26th. at the very latest. So you'll be getting building connected notifications when that is posted, when any of the addendums are posted. That kind of concludes going through the project information. We are going to open it up to any questions, or if San Antonio or Kimley Horn had anything else that they wanted to kind of address the group before we open it up. All right,
I think we're good here, Matt.
awesome.
We're good
So-
on our end too, man.
Thanks, Matt. If anybody has a question, you can speak up or kind of raise your hand and. All right.
Hey,
Conference room.
quick
Prakash.
question. Hey, this Q&A date by 19th, today is the 17th. You giving us only a couple days to look at and give us a question. That's really too of a stretch for a estimating department to go all through these documents and getting a question. Is there any way you can extend for a couple more days? That will give us a kind of enough time to go around and find out any questions there would be.
I do believe we might have another day or two to add to this RFI deadline. We'll talk with the airport in Kimley Horn after this meeting and get a message out to everybody if the 19th is able to be postponed.
Thank you.
Okay, conference room has your hand up.
Hi, could you confirm the tunnel methodologies allowed?
So the tunnel methodologies allowed they're outlined in the spec, but really we are open to methodologies that the contractor believes are appropriate for this project. I guess Matt or team can speak up there, but I think we're pretty open.
Yeah, that's correct, Matt. I think the one I'll caveat, I think phase 3B, there were some limitations on the methodology used there, which is the portion that crosses the primary runway 13, right? So in that portion, we were putting in some requirements that direct jacking, I believe, is the method that we said we would eliminate as a possibility from that phase, just with the understanding that closures were uncertain, and we didn't want to have a situation where direct jacking was used and that pipe became either stuck or wedged in the shaft. But other than that, to Matt Tamroski's point, I think the specs are geared towards a certain tunneling methodology, but open to what bidders would like to suggest there, if that's something that you guys want to include in your bids.
Thanks, Matt. Catherine, you got your hand up.
I was just wondering if you were going to post the sign-in sheet for everyone to see.
Yes, sign-in sheet will be posted likely tomorrow, along with this presentation. Joe Chesney.
Yes, is there an engineer's estimate for package 1 and package 2 separate?
Not at this time. If we decide to publish a number, you guys will be made aware of it.
Are there specific work hours, either not required or anything specific on work hours?
So the way that it's detailed in the instructions to bidders is that working hours are day shift hours only. There may be some night shift required. Okay, I say that phase 3C, I think the expectation is that that could very well be day and night work, depending on the contractor's resource schedule there. That's a hard 20 days that day or night, you'll have the ability to work to get that done. But the rest of the job was really anticipated to be a daytime only with possibly a couple night shifts if we're getting inside safety areas.
Okay. Speaking of phase 3C, any liquidated damages associated with 3C on the 20 day?
Yes, the LDs are outlined in the proposal documents in the project information forms. So I believe that was around 21,000 a day.
Okay. Is a full-time safety manager on site required?
Not required.
Okay. Will there be a link to your meeting notes that we could take a look at?
Yes, the meeting and sign-in sheet will be sent out with the first addendum.
Okay. Any specific minority participation required? Percentage?
There has not been a minimum established for this project.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thanks, Joe.
Is it feasible to work 24 hours a day during towing operations? Can you get San Antonio airports to buy off on that while tunneling operations are going?
That may require us to get together and talk through it. Was that Jim that asked that question?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Jim, I'd urge you to put that question in Building Connected, and we'll be able to address that in the first addendum.
100%. Thank you.
The sign-in sheet is in the chat. So please click that link. Make sure that we're able to record you guys being on this call. We'll leave that open here for the next hour. So please fill in the sign-in sheet.
Hey, Matt, someone is asking if you can go to the beginning portion of the presentation for the barcode to sign in.
Yeah, I can bring that up if that's easier for some folks right now.
Yes, sir.
Kind of give everybody another minute to thanks. If you need anything else that you want to discuss. Yes, those are in the plan sheets. And again, I urge everybody, even if you got a verbal response to your question in this meeting, please submit anything on Building Connected so we've got a formal record of a question being asked and answered.
And Matt, there's a couple that have left their contact information within the chat. I would encourage them to go to the link or the
Yes,
QR
please.
code to include that. If you guys click on the messages for this meeting, they've posted a couple times the link where you can go, and it's just like 6 questions. It's easy to fill out, kind of like a Survey Monkey.
right. Well, we appreciate everybody's interest in time today going through the project. We will get a response out about potentially moving the question deadline. I can say for sure it will not be beyond Friday of this week if it's moved. Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope this was informative. And please reach out if you've got any issues or questions going through the Building Connected as well. Looking forward to hearing from everybody. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.